What's up, the world? It's your boy Tommy Mab, and I just wanted to come in and speak because there's a lot of BS that's going on right now, and at the top of that list is freaking Magic Johnson. To say that Magic Johnson is a leech, piece of crap person is another lane altogether. Okay, why people go to Magic Johnson to hear anything about the Lakers is beyond me. He's a fucking moron. Okay, Magic Johnson quit working for the Lakers because he felt he didn't have enough power to be able to make decisions this, that, and the third. Now he wants to come on TV and say LeBron James wanted DeMar DeRozan, and if they would have had DeMar DeRozan, they would have had a championship, which is fucking stupid. Okay, let's get one thing straight. Okay, first and foremost, to the idiots who keep saying that it didn't work out between Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, they're all averaging 20 points a game. Russell Westbrook's stats have not really gone down that far. Problem is they have not played together. Never, not once. So it just blows my mind that people keep pounding their chest on. Okay, there is no truth to it. There is no truth to it. I don't even think all together with all three of them on the floor, they played 5 games. I don't think they played 5 games with all three of them on the court out of 82. So to sit up there and try to make the argument that somehow the Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD situation didn't work out is stupid. It makes no sense whatsoever. LeBron, AD, and Russ have to play together. They keep pointing out, well, if they would have had DeMar DeRozan would have been the same player with LeBron James on the court. He would have had to learn to play just like Russell Westbrook learned to play. Off the ball. He is a mid-range shooter. Russell Westbrook is a mid-range shooter. Only difference in the situation is because you got LeBron, because you got AD, they play bigger, which makes it harder for Russell Westbrook to get there. So don't get it twisted. It's not an argument in which I'm trying to stand on this notion that somehow DeRozan is not a good player, or DeRozan is not a player that might have been a little bit of a better fit. That's great. But to make the argument they would have made the playoffs with DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan by himself was not going to be able to deal with no center, nobody able to stop or get to the rim. He was not going to do different besides get less rebounds and less assists. So in this specific scenario, if you want to make the argument that DeMar DeRozan would have been better offensively, I'm simply going to make the argument that Russell Westbrook would have been better in almost every other aspect. Russell Westbrook is a good player who's being wasted by the fact that the 2 players around him can't stay healthy. That's Russell Westbrook's own problem. It is asinine. 10, 12, 11, 49 to sit up there and say that somehow switching Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan would have meant the Lakers. He can't even help the Bulls win in the East. And everybody who keeps saying, oh, well, the East is stronger. Every single time that a top team in the East plays a top team in the West, the top team in the West beats them. So the West is still better than the East. The only difference is the fact that you take LeBron out of the East. Now there's no definitive person to control it. Now you just got a bunch of bottom feeders who wouldn't be great in the West who are now great in the East. The Miami Heat haven't been healthy all damn season. They're the number 1 seed. The freaking Brooklyn Nets have not been healthy. The Suns are so far ahead of everybody, they can basically stop playing for the rest of the year and still be the number 1 seed in both conferences. The Memphis Grizzlies are the hottest team in the league right now. The freaking Celtics started awful and it ended up being in the top 3. Why? Because the East is weak. The Bulls are not a good team. No matter how often they try to show their highlights, they're not a good team. They're young, they're inexperienced, and they can't win tight games. The Celtics have great players and have some pedigree, but do I think for a second that they would be a top 3 seed in the West? No. I don't think they're better than the Grizzlies. I don't think they're better than the Suns. I don't think they're better than Utah, the Jazz, and I don't think they're better than the Nuggets. I don't even think they're better than the Timberwolves. So to sit up there and try to make the argument that now all of a sudden the West is weak, the East is hard, and no, every time LeBron goes to the opposite coast, all of a sudden that conference becomes harder. No, it just becomes closer in talent. I would say they got 2 good teams. The Miami Heat, that I think are unequivocally going to go deep. And I don't even know if they would go deep if they were in the West. I'm just saying that if I had to point out. And Milwaukee Bucks would be a good team in either conference. The Heat, no. I don't think they would be. They're too injury prone. They don't have enough players who contribute, and they're undersized. The Celtics, once again, they just lost their big man. They're not really deep. They're just playing in a weak conference. The Bulls, same thing. They are limping without Lonzo Ball because they don't have any depth. All year they kept saying, talking about Caruso, and I kept saying the whole time, I know who the better player in that situation is. It's not Alex Caruso. It's actually Lonzo Ball. He's the defensive anchor. When you take him out, they got all this offense but no defense. And everybody kept trying to act like, oh, we'll just throw Caruso in and we won't miss a beat. No, you can't. He's not as good. He's not as good as a three-point shooter. He's not as good as a person who can attack the rim, and he's not as good defensively as Lonzo is. So the Bulls have been done ever since Lonzo got hurt. So now that we're making these arguments and we're standing on this stuff, can we please stop the micro? If you put Russell Westbrook, you saw what Russell Westbrook did in the East when he was playing for the freaking Wizards when Bradley Beal was damn near out the entire year. Did you see how many 40, 50-point games that man was scoring last year? Now we're going to sit around and try to act like what DeMar DeRozan is doing so great. Why couldn't DeMar DeRozan do any of that when he was in the West? Yet we going to act like we just missed that. This is a year ago he was playing for the Spurs. Couldn't do any he's now doing. Now all of a sudden we acting like we knew. Like all of a sudden now DeMar DeRozan is some he's been playing for the Spurs for the last 3 or 4 years. He ain't done What was those 50-point outbreaks when he was playing for the Spurs? No, he's just playing weaker competition. And when he plays, you go look at his stats against West Coast teams. They're the same exact stats he's had for the last couple of years when he played for the Spurs. But nobody will stop to say that maybe the East is just an easy conference. It ain't got nothing to do with no Russell Westbrook and him. But hindsight is 20/20, and that's what I hate the most about people that criticize NBA players. Hindsight is always 20/20. They always know. They always knew when they can go back through it and go back through it. Ain't no, just like Magic Johnson. If you knew this, why you waited until the Lakers were in a vulnerable position to come out with this information? Why didn't you come out with it at the beginning of the year? Why? You didn't come out with it at the beginning of the year because there's a chance that it would work out. Now you look like the moron for wanting to get DeMar DeRozan. But now you're trying to act like you're some insider and speak in your mind when you know right now the Lakers were in a bad position because they were injured all year. And it's just funny to me that when you listen to these analysts, all of them go out of their way to try to leave out the fact that LeBron and Anthony Davis have been hurt all year. It didn't work out. It's like that's a very conservative, very, very, very conspicuous way to depict what happened to the Lakers this year. It didn't work out. It didn't work out because they weren't on court. They weren't playing together. So when you look at people like Eric, like Chris Broussard and all these guys, I think deep down they speak from they care more about being right than they care about getting it. Anyways, please comment. Let me know what y'all think about these nut jobs. Please comment, subscribe, and like it. Like it. All right, y'all.